Hi, if you're new around here, I'm Max and this is Rose. She's a Mercedes-Benz 310D Luton van. She's also very rusty and needs a lot of work. I plan to do most of the welding and repairs myself to get her through the first MOT in 5 years. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to come along for the ride.
Okay, so welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to take out the windscreen because of 5 chips. For example, there is one that you cannot see. There, you can sort of see it now. Yeah, that's a chip, and there's loads of them. That one's right in the driver's view. And I picked up that new one that I mentioned ages ago in the video for 50 quid from Liverpool. So excuse all the weld spatter as usual. We're just going to cut the seal off because the new one, well, old new one, came with a seal, and I also bought a brand new seal there because you can still buy them. That was about 50 quid as well, so it cost as much as the windscreen. We've removed the wipers and now we're just going to cut the seal with a knife, push the windscreen out. Well, he's the expert, but my friend Ben again.
I am not an expert.
He's done loads. Does them for a living. Not. But anyway, yeah, he knows what to do more than I do, so we're going to remove this and put in the new one and hope that this bit of rust up here that I ignored months ago, is not too bad. Okay, so hello everyone, it's the next day because we ran out of time fixing the blower motor yesterday, which now works only on setting 1. It wasn't a blower motor that was broken, it was all the rusty components and connections inside, so we just bypassed all the resistance. There was only one resistor anyway, and now it's just straight on or off, not 1, 2 or off. Then we found a bit of rust when we took the windscreen out, just a little hole, so cleaned that back and welded it up, ground it back, and I've put some chassis paint on there. The reason is because it is a rust preventative and it dries in like 2 seconds, so yeah. But now all cleaned up around here, light sand just to get rid of the old paint line, and I know I should paint this but ran out of time, so sort of doing it a bit lazy. And there's the new window ready to go on, it's just there, and we're putting on the seal first apparently. It's the better way to do it. So seal first and then the windscreen around the seal. So I'll put you on time lapse. Okay, so everyone, a lot's happened since I last filmed. Basically, so the time lapse ended a couple of times, the battery died, the SD card filled up, so I lost pretty much every time lapse getting the windscreen on. All I did was the time lapse of the window rubber. But now, basically what happened was, as we were doing the last edge on the top, just at that last bit, we were doing it a method that you didn't use security bead. Sorry about the wind. We were doing it a method that my friend's done with rubbers with a security bead, where you pop a separate bead in after you've installed the windscreen and then you pull that out to push the windscreen out. But this one, it's not a security beaded one, it's just a solid bit of rubber. So it didn't work. Basically what you do is put the rubber around the outside, slot the windscreen in, and then sort of just lever it in all the way around. That did not work. It cracked. This one is the old one, phoned up Auto Glass, and because it's not insured, obviously I have to pay it outright, and that is 600 quid that they supposedly managed to discount me down to 350, but that's still a lot of money. So my friend is the one that broke it, and basically he said, how about we put the old one back in and get the chips repaired? And I said, you know what, that's a good idea. I was a bit like, so we've just done all this for no point. But there are some positives. One, by taking the windscreen out, we were able to do the welding at the top. 2, by taking the windscreen out, we were able to fix the blower motor. Only on system 2, granted, but it works. And 3, it now has a brand new rubber, so if this windscreen lasts a long time, then we get to keep the rubber and it won't deteriorate. If the windscreen doesn't last a long time, we can still reuse it because it's new. But anyway, putting it in, we use the string method like most people do, and some people have broken them, and after I broke that one I was like, Mercedes T1 windscreens are just impossible to get in.
But with the string method, me and my friend did it in about half an hour. It was dead easy. It worked so well. We didn't just use string though, we used this steel wire, which I've now put in the bin. But it's a steel wire with a plastic coating on the outside. Just clear plastic coating. And basically, I mean, it didn't cut into the rubber, but because it's steel, it didn't snap. Because if you use string, they often snap. And you can use nylon, but that's obviously not as strong as steel inside nylon. So this one worked really well. And yeah, if you're changing an HC or rubber, I do recommend using the steel wire with plastic on the outside, because it was just so good. Pulled it all the way around, dead easy. It popped out in a few places, about like 5 centimeters long, and all we did is got the pry tools, little plastic pry tools, and just sort of levered it back in. And yeah, that was it. But that was after, so we ignored the fact that a couple of bits had been missed, went all the way around, and then ran and levered those bits out. And there was only about 3 spots where the string actually came out, but if you pull it at the right angle, you can get it to come back over again. I'm really happy I didn't pay someone to do it, because again, I always say this, why pay someone when you can at least give it a go yourself? And it can go catastrophically wrong. So if you don't want that risk, I understand. But this has cost me £50 for the seal, £50 for the windscreen, and now I'm going to repair the chips myself because I found a kit. Because I was going to get Autoglass to do it, but I was like, hang on, I'm sure you can do it yourself. So there we are, I'm going to learn another thing on top of that. Yeah, so that's the windscreen, and I hope you enjoyed that. I know it wasn't very informative because, well, the video sort of stopped, but once it broke I was sort of disheartened, and then I just wanted to get the next one in without filming it. My wing mirror is the type that you cannot repair, or no, replace the glass. There it is, because it's moulded around the outside. Now I knew this, and mine was cracked, so I destroyed the cracked one, getting it out, and then bought a new one, and I slowly pushed it in and cracked it, and yes, so that was that. In hindsight, I should have just, like, it comes with sticky pads, I should have just stuck it onto the old one, but I didn't. And then my neighbour said, put it in boiling water. So I was like, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, make it more flexible. But boiling a kettle around here is like anyone in vans. We've got a boat, it takes a while. And we were like, ooh, what about my heat gun? I mentioned my heat gun, so my friend went and did it. He put the heat gun around the outside a few times, just till it was really hot. Like he said, it was starting to, I wasn't there, but it was like, it was starting to sort of melt. Try not to actually deform your wing mirror. But then it expands because it's softer. And then you just slot the windscreen in, and then he came over to the cold water tap, put a load of cold water on it, and then it clamped it, and it doesn't even rattle. Like, you could not get that in there. And when it was still hot, like, because you could touch it, and when it had shrunk enough that it was still, but it was still hot, it was rattling. So that's when we decided to put the cold water over it, and it really shrunk, and now solid. And as you saw, it's not cracked. I don't want to adjust it because I've adjusted them to the correct angle at the moment. That's how you replace one of these if you have a Mercedes T1 and you've been looking to replace it. If I ever break the one on the passenger side, which is highly likely because it's the side that hits all the hedges, then I will do a video on how to do this, because I think, well, people say literally, I put it on the Facebook group, I was like, I'd like to replace the wing mirror, but I can't get the glass out. So now, there's a way. Smash the old one out, put a heat gun around it, and slot the new one back in and cool it down. So that's going to be it for this video, and if you did like the video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to comment, make sure you do drop a comment down below and let me know what you thought about the video. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, all of that stuff, and hit the bell icon, and I'll see you next week.